Folks, welcome to Troy, a Total War saga. I get the opportunity to take you through a first look at a battle between none other than Hector and Achilles, and I will be doing so today from the perspective of Hector through both the easy setting on battle and the hard setting, which does have some different units in it. The easy one just kind of gets you a feel for the game, and the hard one put to the test some of your Total War knowledge and some of the new features in the game, which were quite fun. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown of the Trojan Troops that I'll be leading, and I'll give you a quick look at Achilles. This is the easy battle you'll be seeing first, and then we will move on to the more challenging one. So, first up, let's just talk about one thing. Infantry in Troy, a Total War saga, is classed in light, medium, and heavy. Light being the fastest, heavy being the slowest, but also carrying the most mass, meaning they hit harder when there's a collision, whereas light may tend to specialize in other things like flanking and running down skirmishers or just otherwise harassing. So Hector's troops on this particular battle are going to be almost all heavy infantry. In fact, I think they are all heavy infantry except for the renowned archers in the back. There are three basic flavors. I have some Trojan defenders, which are clubmen with a shield, and they're going to be a more defensive type unit, good against lower armor. And then we've got some champions of Troy, which are really good against basically anything. Swords, axes, horses, you name it. Then we have Hector's Chosen there in the middle. I'll give you a closer look at some of these. First, I want you to see my hero here, which is a Minotaur. This game tries to show us where the legend meets reality, and in this case, their interpretation of it for the Minotaur is this kind of shaman-looking dude who's dressed up, and he has the ability to debuff enemy units, I guess, by using all of his knowledge of these old things to scare the troops around him. Speaking of scary, Achilles is over here with some savage Centaur warriors. This is a heavy cavalry unit. These are rare in this game, and they do hit very hard, but I'm blocking them with my single entity here to keep them from getting to my clubs. Anyway, let's get you some close-ups of some of the troops. Here are my champions of Troy. These are the guys that were basically versatile versus everything. Really cool-looking units. And then here is Hector's Chosen, the swordsmen. They have a little more AP, really tough sword unit. I'm going to use them to bog down Achilles in the center. And we can't forget Hector. Here he is leading his troops in that awesome purple color. Bring it up with the giant bronze shield and spear. Going to be definitely laying it down. Now, he is more of a warlord type lord. He's going to be very good at buffing his troops. He has some healing abilities. I'll let you all see these real quick. So here's the abilities. He can heal. He can buff speed and armor-piercing damage. This is a really good one here, this Vanquish. I really like it. And then, of course, all the heroes have this Aristea, or however you say it, and his here, when he builds it up, he's able to unleash it and gain a lot of armor and melee attack. And speaking of the devil, here is Achilles taking on Hector's Chosen. This is a good place for him. And here's just some heavy Trojan spearmen out here, and let's get you a look at my Archers of Renown. The Archers of Renown are going to give me the ranged advantage in this fight, both on the easy and the hard setting. And in this case, they're going to be targeting away the Javelin men. Let's go take a look at those Javelin men. They are under some heavy fire right now, and you can see, like, this guy, he used to be an adventurer like you until he took an arrow through the skull. Really looks quite painful, though it is pretty cool new nose piercing. So yeah, you can see that, yeah, the fight is well underway. I'm going to hit play here so you all can see this in a more real time. Let's watch a collision of troops here. This is some heavy swordsmen coming up against my clubmen. Not the best target for my clubmen to be taking on. My champions of Troy will be a little bit better. You can see them here. They're going to get a bonus versus these swordsmen they're fighting. And you can see that Hector is in the middle of this fight, and he's already helped his troops crush through a heavy swordsman of Achilles. While Achilles, again, my intention was to bog him down in this fight. My Minotaur helped quickly wrap up a flank, or at least one unit, the savage Centaur warriors, and now my heavy spears and Minotaur are going to continue to wrap up this flank here. The clubmen will get some support that they need. Let you see the Minotaur crashing through here. Going to go into those troops. And yeah, I'm going to try and get Hector into combat with Achilles here soon so you all can get a nice duel. Feel like you should need that. And here I'll just let you see a little bit of the UI here. Kind of put that up on screen in case anybody wants to pause it. Take a look at what's going on with it. Somewhat similar to what we have in the newer Total War games, but it looks like they're also working on some quality of life improvements along the way. You can see the, club types, spear types, archers, so things look pretty simple so far. It's pretty easy to tell where your heroes are at. And they got a cool bar up here as well telling you what's going on with the heroes. along with the balance bar. So some savage Centaur warriors came back from routing and stopped Hector from getting to Achilles, but I can assure you this will only be temporary, as my renowned archers have changed their target at the behest of their lord to clear his path through to the Greek Achilles so that he can finish this fight and put an end to the Trojan Wars once and for all. I really don't know much about the Iliad, folks. I'm sorry. There's probably a lot more to some of this stuff. I guess it's something I'm going to have to do in the lead up to Troy, is actually read the Iliad. I'm honestly not very familiar with it. I'm going to do a little bit of savage work here. I mean, Hector's a little bit underhanded, I guess, you know? Kind of like the Emperor and Gladiator. I'm going to pop a few shots off, let this duel get underway. Hector is definitely got the edge, mostly because of the difficulty setting here. Obviously, if this were the harder one, he would have his work cut out for him. Achilles doesn't go down too easy in that other setting. You can see his troops pretty much all wrapped up, though. Routing, shattered, army losses taking their toll. And really, Hector has just got to finish off Achilles. So this was the easy battle setting. I'm going to switch over to the harder one, obviously now, and show you how you have to use a little bit more finesse. And I think it shows off some of how they're changing the game design in order to try and bring you something new. A new era, some new mechanics, and a lot of fun things to experience. Ooh, that scenery. So pretty. Now here we are in the hard battle. There are a few differences in the troops. Let me show you those real quick. I'm going to pause it so we don't miss anything. We've got spear fighters. Now for my troops in the back, we've got the additional spear fighters. There's 3 more units. There's way more units here in total. So my 3 spear fighters are a medium-classed infantry, the lightest infantry that's going to be on the field here for the Trojan forces. And we still have the archers, and we still have all these different units up front. Hector's chosen renowned swordsmen. I don't know if we saw these guys last time or not, so I'll let you get a quick look at them. Very cool looking sword unit. More sword units over here. A lot of renowned swordsmen that are going to be in here as heavy infantry. So those are going to be kind of filling up the middle for me, all the renowned swordsmen. And then we've got our Trojan defenders on the flank. And knowing that I'm going to be facing off against chariots, yes, there's going to be heavy chariots in this battle, as well as heavy cavalry. I do have my champions of Troy leading the way for my clubmen. Clubmen are going to do a little bit better for me against the lower armored targets that I expect to find on the flank of Achilles. He has his lighter infantry typically towards the flank, and so I am guarding against cavalry charges, but intending for my clubmen to get into the lighter armor, whereas I want my heavier sword units to hold the middle against the heavy Greek units. But I've kept a heavy spear unit kind of interspersed throughout the battlefield in front of my club units who are on the flank. And over here, I've got the Minotaur supporting on the top of this hill, and I'm going to be looking to outflank the Greek forces and try and take advantage of some terrain here. There's a few cool terrain features that I haven't talked about yet. One is long grass. You can see it here. Just like velociraptors, certain units in this game can hide in the long grass and move while hidden. It is going to be pretty cool, so you can get your Jurassic Park memes ready. And there is other things to take awareness of here too. There is mud on this battlefield, and mud is going to really slow down heavy units. It will only somewhat slow down the lighter units. They will continue through it. And then sand is a thing as well. Certain units may have slower movement in the sand. Let's take a look at some of the Trojan units, or sorry, Greek units we didn't see last time. This is going to be some heavy chariots here coming in for the Greeks. Really cool unit. These guys are crushing on the charge, especially if they get into the back of infantry. Got some Pelagic Thessalians here, which is a double-handed spear unit, which is going to be an expert flanking unit. Really cool unit to see in the game. I love the unit models on these guys. It's really cool looking. And you can see the savage Centaur warriors still here. These guys, of course, the myth that Centaurs were kind of part horse, part man, and they're living up. There's some Myrmidon Swordsmen. This is a really sweet unit here. Another expert flanking unit, shielded, armor piercing. You can see they've got all kinds of special abilities down here. They're unbreakable, immune to flanking. Yeah, really good stuff there with the Myrmidon Swordsmen. We have some renowned Pythian, if I'm going to say that right, Pythian spears? It's a mouthful. Now, they have a switchable weapon where they can put their shield up and go double-handed spear as well. There's going to be some spearmen back here. I'll get you a closer look, and then these spear-fighting Myrmidons as well. Really cool units. Again, they come with a lot of these special abilities. Immune to Psych, Unbreakable, Going to be very, very tough units indeed. And they still have the javelin throwers. And then out here on the far flank, there's going to be some Myrmidon's sword runner, or Agenian runners, and then Myrmidon Swordsmen, as well as some more Pelagic Thessalians and Thessalian Marines. So pretty cool units all around. Let's get this battle underway. It is going to be hard fought on my left flank, really, to start with. I'm intending to gain an advantage here, at least hoping to. I don't really want to engage my spearmen head-to-head with certain units, so I'll pull them back and let the clubmen do their work and bring them in as needed. I'm going to lead the way, the Minotaur here, and bull rush in to just plow through this Thessalian unit, and then let the engagements kind of begin all along the line. Meanwhile, my Archers of Renown are going to have a very important role. They have to silence these chariots. You can see the chariots already just causing huge problems for me on the flank. The heavy spears brought in to help slow them down, and the archer fire is going to really focus them, while my lighter spear fighter is going to be used to ward off the centaurs. I really don't know how well I can stop the chariots with the lighter spears because of the mass of the chariots, and so you can see that that is the focus of my attention, and the light spearmen are protecting my renowned archers. Now, right away, I go to bog down Achilles with a unit of renowned swordsmen, and brought in Hector, and I've already taken a bunch of damage to Achilles. He is going to be an absolute beast to deal with in this hard setting. He by himself will be difficult for all these men to beat, so if you like epic battles, it's going to be one here. Otherwise, you can see my heavy infantry holding up fairly well, and the chariots still just rampaging through the lines. But the focused archer fire really does the trick here. These units are pretty large targets, and you can see them getting pulled down rather quickly. My light spearmen were able to chase off the savage centaur warriors, and you can see the difficulty setting here really ramping things up, as my infantry really has their work cut out for them. Even though they are heavy and tough infantry, they are really getting the fight of their life here against the Greek soldiers. My clubmen are now going to come in and help against these more lightly armored Thessalian troops, and things are going pretty well for me. You can see Achilles here dropping some debuffs on my troops. Guy's pretty savage, and you can see that he's starting to take quite a bit of damage in this blob. Let's go take a look and see how my flanking maneuver is going. It's actually working good. The special ability on the Minotaur definitely broke a few of the Greek units, and now my clubmen are going to find their way around the flanks and try and help seal off this fight over here. But the javelin throwers have an excellent position in this scrub on the top of the hill, and they are causing me a lot of trouble, while keeping themselves somewhat shielded from all the archer fire as well. But you can see the flanking maneuver is underway. Flanking is going to be very critical in this game. If you don't flank, it's going to be really hard to get through some of the heavy infantry. You can see that here is that even while attempting to flank, it's been challenging. Over here, my archers are able to fire into the back of this Myrmidon Swordsman as it gets fixed against my champions of Troy, who actually have a bonus versus this unit as well. And so you can see that over here, because of the support from the archer fire and my different units in here, the clubmen did well against the Thessalians, and we are definitely starting to push back the Greeks on both the right and the left flank. In the center, however, the Greeks are more than holding their own. You can see here their Scythian spears holding their own against my renowned swordsmen. And so I'm going to reposition my archers to try and get a little bit of flanking fire in here. Some of my archers are out of ammunition now. It's going to cause a problem. Look at this standoff. Who knows what's going on here? I guess they got tired, decided to take a little break. Hector, Achilles, and the stand between. He's like, all right, boys, hold on. Hold on. We've had enough. Let's calm down. Just wait a minute. Just wait a minute. Obviously, I don't think that's supposed to happen. Development in progress, folks. Read the top left. Anyway, here we go. So we're going to see the clubmen are struggling to get through some of these heavier units now that have the shields and the swords there. Not really the ideal fight for them. The Minotaur is still out helping. This flanking maneuver started off strong, but it was reinforced by the Greeks, and it is really kind of a struggle now, honestly. Not going ideally. However, back on the other flank, though, I have mostly crushed the Greeks. You can see here that some of their renowned spears are starting to flee. Their Myrmidon Swordsmen about to potentially crumble there too, but I don't believe they break. So it's a big fight indeed. You can see over here Hector has triumphed and sent these guys packing. He did down Achilles. I guess I missed that here. I guess yeah, there's Achilles laying on the ground. So They started moving while I was gone, and apparently it was the last dance there. Hector's showing off over the corpse a little bit, as anybody would. So battle's actually starting to look pretty good for me at this point, though you can see that the Greeks aren't exactly entirely done yet. They do have some forces to come back. Whenever the forces aren't shattered, you can see the skull here, just the running. I will send troops to chase them, like these renowned archers being relatively light and quick. Will be good to help me chase off some of these units and to keep them from returning to the battlefield. Whereas my heavy clubmen are like, Air, really? We don't run, man. Look at the armor. We're just going to have a quick mosey. So you can kind of see the differences of the units there, the speed of the archers in the later game. You see Hector here using his heal ability. Just really trying to support the troops because there are some very, very tough units here. These spear-fighting Myrmidons will not break. They're going to fight us to the death. To the death. See the sweet god rays coming down while the ability is active for Hector as he helps against these Myrmidon spear fighters. Let's go take a look up and over the hill at this fight as well. You can see my Trojan troops starting to crack the Greeks. And really it's mostly just going to be the Myrmidon units that get left. And you can see that they are indeed tough. Look at this, they've pushed back my troops twice. A renowned swordsman, not so renowned apparently. They don't like these Myrmidons. See a little bit of this fighting here too between these two units. Clash of Titans here, folks, but those Myrmidons are better units. Ultimately, though, it's really just a matter of time before we grind out all of the unbreakable units. The Greeks don't really have much of a prayer. Because I was able to hit the flanks early and get Achilles bogged down in an entire unit of swordsmen, along with fighting Hector, it was too much for him. He wasn't able to handle it. So that was kind of my strategy here. Hit the flanks. I was probably more successful on the right flank in removing the cavalry and the chariots early. And then the left flank started successful, but then as the Myrmidons reinforced, I was not able to break through because of their unbreakable nature. So it became a fight that we just couldn't win. And you can see over here, this fight's going to continue for quite some time. These champions of Phthia here, if I am saying that right, I may not be. They're going to be, hang on, let me take one more look at it. It's like Phthia, yeah, Phthia, something like that. So yeah, they're going to be holding out for quite a long time. These are tough units indeed. Very tough units. But I'll give you one more look, man. I love the battle map. Just looks really good here. It's actually probably been one of my favorite things so far in the quick look that we got here. I want you all to see this for a minute, just how good this is looking. Looks very, very nice. Cool unit look, cool effects. You can see the corpses all over the ground from the big fight. Troy off in the background. Nice skybox. I feel like it has a good ambiance to it, at least. Feels very Bronze Age. So I'm excited about it in that sense. I'm going to have to see more when it comes to light, heavy, medium infantry. Obviously, there's going to be lots of different kinds of specialists in the game. Probably different types of lords that work better with them. Maybe campaign buffs for them. All types of stuff that I expect we'll see over time in this game. There is potential. When I first hear about a game that's not going to have any big monsters, or for that matter, even any cavalry or anything else like that, and I will say, when they announced that this game was going to be more of a mix, like more so like historic with a little bit of myth, I was kind of disappointed. I was hoping this would be like another fantasy title where it's history, like more on the fantasy side, where we really get to see like the power of the gods from Mount Olympus and like epic abilities on the heroes and all that other stuff. I was really hoping to see that real Minotaurs, you know, Centaurs, stuff like that running out. That's what I was hoping for. Now, this could still be cool. The game looks good right now. I can see what they're trying to do with the different classes of infantry and the specialties of the units, the different bonuses, the different abilities, the leader abilities. I think it's going to give the game the ability to potentially have like different types of battles and replayability, even though you're in a Bronze Age where there may not have been like this huge diversity between the factions, but I think that they're going to try and create it that way with the specialty units and their capabilities. And like I said, we don't even know any of the campaign stuff still to mix in. They added the long grass, they added sand, they added dirt. They're clearly looking to add some cool tactical stuff to the game to allow the player to have some fun with how they're going to strategize and lead their forces to victory. Like I said, they're going to absolutely fight this one out. I'll just let you all watch it. Let you all see it here. But yeah, anyway, that's Troy, A Total War Saga, the first look that I got to have at least. I enjoyed it. I don't know when you all will be able to get hands-on with it, but I'm sure that along with us being able to release this stuff, CA probably released some official stuff to you as well that I'm not aware of at the moment because I'm filming this before all that happened. So I would go check out their official channel, their Twitter, keep up with that. And then I know that some fellow content creators, like I saw Pixelated Apollo, Lionheart, what do you call it, Indie at Milk and Cookies Total War. I know all these guys and more have an early build of the game, and they're going to get to show it to you, so go check out their channels as well. They may have been able to pick up some additional stuff to show you. I hope you enjoyed it. My Trojan soldiers are feeling pretty good about their victory over the Greeks, and I hope you all enjoyed a first look at Troy, A Total War Saga.